Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going fabulous and wonderful, and I thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are going to create a project for Altenew, and it's actually part of a blog hop that's happening right now. It's a Craft-A-Flower blog hop. Every month Altenew comes out with a brand new Craft-A-Flower, and they celebrate it with a blog hop. So I encourage you guys to check it out. There is a giveaway that goes with it. Giveaways are always nice. This month it's the Buttercup. The Craft-A-Flowers are a layering floral die set. And this month I'm super excited because there's a little sentiment that goes with it. So we're going to make a fun summery buttercup card today. This buttercup, there's 2 flowers in this set, and then there is a few sets of leaves, which makes it really pretty and nice. I'm going to grab some cardstock and we're going to do some die cutting. On the very front of your package it'll show you the layering guide. I'm going to start off with my darkest color. I'm using an orange, but only a little bit of that orange is going to show. So we're going to die cut out the bud and then also the flower with the orange here. And those are the base layers. Eventually we're going to die cut out those with gold cardstock. I'm going to go back in with that bud base layer and die cut out another one because I want 2 buds for my project. Now for my second layer, I grabbed the wrong cardstock. We're going to grab the middle tone yellow, and we're going to take the second layer of the bud and then also the second layer of my buttercup, and we're going to die cut that out. We're going to pick these up and scoot them over. Okay, we're going to just tack these down, and then we're going to take our third layer. We're going to die cut this out with the lightest yellow cardstock. And then I'm also, there is no third layer to the flower bed, and so but there is there is the third layer that's a petal. We're going to need to grab that. I'll grab that in a minute. But the green cardstock, I chose the palest green that I had, and I'm going to die cut out. There is a leaf portion that you attach to your buttercup, and that's that odd shape one. And then there's also the bottom part of the flower bud that I'm going to die cut out twice of those. I'm going to bring in some dark yellow, yellowish goldish cardstock, and then there's one little tiny flower center for your flower, and then we're going to get to die cutting. So this is what they look like. Again, I die cut out 2 of the buds because I just wanted 2 on my project today, just to make it a little fun. We're going to do a little bit more die cutting, and then we're going to create a flower. I'm bringing in some gold cardstock, and I need a gold base layer and then a gold base layer of the flower bed. I actually need 2 of the flower beds, and so what I did was just die cut it out in the center of our larger buttercup. You're not going to see it anyway, and it's a great way to save cardstock. I'm trying to save room because I want to die cut out the word thank you on gold. But then I changed my mind. Altenew has some fabulous adhesive sheets. So I took a small piece and added it behind a small strip of gold cardstock. I'm going to create a sticker with my sentiment because we're going to adhere that to a piece of vellum. So you can see I added my adhesive sheet behind my gold here. So we just need 1 more flower bud in gold, and we're going to need to die cut out our sentiment with gold cardstock. Now the nice thing about the sentiment is there is an outline for it, which makes it really nice, and that's why I wanted to use my adhesive sheet. I want the outline to be in vellum, and when you add glue behind your sentiment and add it to vellum, sometimes it warps, and so adhesive sheets are basically you're creating a sticker with them, so it makes it a lot nicer. Okay, we're going to grab our vellum, and then I'm going to take everything and die cut everything out. So we have 2 gold buds, we have 1 gold flower background, and we are good to go, and we're going to start assembling. Now, this is my thank you. I'm just going to remove it, and when I removed it, the thank you stayed in the die itself. So I thought we would try something and see how it would turn out. Since it's adhesive backed, I removed the release paper is basically what I did. I'm going to add it to my outline, just kind of centering it, and I'm just going to use my fingers and press it really get to that outline vellum piece. And I was hoping all I'd have to do is peel back the vellum and it would magically be centered and all that good stuff. But I think we have to work with it a little bit. So I'm going to grab my little craft pick and I'm going to press it down to the vellum where those little holes are, and then I'm going to carefully lift it up. And it centered it perfectly. I didn't have to fuss with it or misshaping it. It was a great way to adhere it, but I did have to needed the help with the craft pick. So there you go. I have one little piece of the O stuck in there. I'm just going to remove that, and while I'm at it, I'm going to remove the one in the die. But thank you is good to go. Love the way this looks with that gold behind the vellum. Okay, so our sentiment is done. We're going to set that aside along with our gold. The gold we die cut because I just wanted a little bit of highlight after my flower is all done. So we are going to assemble our buttercup. I'm going to go ahead and add glue behind my second layer. Now, my cardstock is actually white on the back side, and I hope you guys don't ask what kind of cardstock that I'm using. It's just cardstock that I've had in my stash. But I thought I was going to be proactive and add adhesive sheets behind my cardstock, so I did that. Only it wasn't an adhesive sheet, it was masking paper, so I kept trying to remove it, but boy, the masking paper, if you run it through the die cutting machine, it's not moving. So all of my pieces have white behind them, if you were curious about that. It's because I added masking paper and not adhesive sheets. So I just didn't want to waste my die cuts, so I just decided to add a little glue to them and tack them down. I added my second layer with my mid-tone yellow, and now we're going to go ahead and add our third layer. This third layer piece for the larger buttercup has 2 more extra pieces. You can see on the top right of my screen, those 2 pieces will go with it. We'll adhere those in a little bit. We're going to finish up our little flower buds. Flower buds are just 2 pieces, and then you add the green stem. You just add a dot of glue at the very bottom and adhere that. And then these are all good to go. Pretty easy for the flower buds. Actually, the buttercup was probably one of the easier Craft-A-Flowers to layer together because each of the layers lined up on the very bottom of your flower, which made it so simple. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our little detail pieces with our third layer. And these line up to the petal on the very top. If you just use your guide on the front of your package, it makes it very simple. Then I have one more little layer. Sometimes it's easier to add glue and then pick up your smaller pieces with tweezers. And that's what I'm doing here. So third layer is good. Well, technically there's a fourth layer. You see how pretty that is. The fourth layer is a petal that you can add that just matches the petal that's on your buttercup. I'll show you here in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and add my leaf portion. I just added glue to the very bottom, and then you could put this on top of your flower, on the bottom. It kind of doesn't matter because you have this little petal piece. Now I'm going to go ahead, instead of gluing it down, I'm going to go ahead and add it with foam adhesive. I thought before we do that, we might as well add our gold behind our larger buttercup here. And I'm offsetting it just so a little bit on the left side is showing. So we have a little bit of gold. I wanted to kind of spread out that gold on my card because of my sentiment. Next I'm going to add my little petal, and this lines up with the petal that's already there, and it covers your stem portion. And it gives, if you pop it up with foam adhesive, it just gives it a 3D look. So I think that's just gorgeous. I just love this. If you want to go ahead and add your flower buds to that stem right now, you could, but I'm going to do that as we make our card later on. I'm doing the same thing. I'm offsetting the flower bud background with gold, just so a little bit of that gold's peeking out. Now there's one more piece to my larger buttercup, and it's the flower center. And I'm just going to add a little glue and place that in the center. There is a like a V on that where it would line up on the flower center. So that was my guide. And again, the front of the package will show you. So those are my flowers, and I think they're so pretty. I love buttercups. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add foam squares behind the flower portion here and also on the larger leaf. And then we're going to work on our background for our project today. I have a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to do a little bit of ink blending with oxide inks. I'm going to start off by ink blending with a blue ink. It's Salty Ocean, and I'm kind of want it to be a gradient, so I'm kind of blending it not all, about 1 inch from the top basically. The cardstock that I'm using is not Bristol Smooth, it's my regular white cardstock, and sometimes it doesn't blend too well. I got lucky because my Salty Ocean is fairly new, and so it's pretty juicy ink pad, so it's blending really nice. I do want to add a darker blue on the very bottom, so that color is Faded Jeans, and I just think this looks very oceanic. Very summery. I love yellows and oranges with blues. Actually, I've been on a blue and orange craze, so today it's going to be blue and yellow. Okay, I think this looks good. I'm not going to oxidize the ink, but I do want to darken up the background. So we're going to remove our craft mat, and then I'm going to bring in the leaf dies that are in the Craft-A-Flower set. There's 3 of them. And these would actually be staple leaves for your stash. I think any kind of flower would go good with these leaves. But I'm taking all 3 of them and kind of arranging them in a triangle shape on the front of my panel. And I thought we would do die cutting, but using the negative space. So I'm going to keep the negative space of these, and if I wanted to create a card later on with the positive pieces are just gorgeous, guys. You can create another flower and just use those on your project because it's just stunning. Actually, I might just do it. Check out my blog and see if I created another card with those flowers. But I think this looks great. You can see it's kind of in a triangle shape. I'm going to go ahead and share with you Altenew has something new to shop, and I'm not going to share it with you just yet. I'm going to emboss my background. I got ahead of myself. But I'm using the angled Mosaic 6x6 embossing folder. It creates beautiful 3D detail on this. Now this is what I wanted to share with you. I was super excited about it. Altenew had just came out with this a few days ago, and it's Instant Dimension foam tape. I love dimension and I love using foam tape. Usually I use the 3/4 inch foam tape, and I'm always finding myself trimming it down. So I was excited when Altenew had came out with a foam tape. Now this, my 3M tape, I don't know what's going on with them, but usually you can tear it, but lately my last 2 rolls you haven't been able to tear. This one doesn't tear either. So maybe it's because of the regulations, they can't make it that way anymore, but I love the 1/2 inch size, and it's about the same width as your normal 3M tape. Love this big mama roll here, and I will link it down below if you guys want to check it out. I'm not sure of the price point just yet, but it's fabulous stuff. I think Altenew makes quality stuff, and I think you'll be happy with it. So I added foam adhesive, lots of it, behind my panel. We're going to pop it up. If you want to create a shaker card with this and have it behind the leaves, I think that would be pretty. But I just wanted like a leafy window on my card. And so I just centered it, and you can see I have a little bit of a white border around my card base. I'm going to remove the release paper off of my Buttercup flower, and we're going to do a little bit of arranging. And once I am happy with the placement, we can go ahead and add our flower buds. The flower buds, I'm going to just basically tuck underneath the stem. Since it's so skinny, I'm not going to even worry about gluing it. But I am going to take my glue and glue down the larger stem to my card base. I didn't want that folding over or bending if I put that in the card. But I think that looks so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and pop up my sentiment. I added 2 very thin strips using my new foam tape here, and I added it behind the thank and then the U. We're just going to remove the release paper here and add that in the top right corner. And I love how the gold just kind of flows, but softly. And then all we have to do is add some bells and whistles. For bells and whistles, I found some yellowish gems from my stash. I'm just going to add a few, so when you look at the card, it's going to add a little extra sparkle. And I'm going to add a few on top next to the sentiment, and then a few over on the right side here. But that's my project today, guys, using the Altenew Craft-A-Flower, the Buttercup layering die set. If you're interested, links are below. But I encourage you guys to join the blog hop. So much amazing inspiration is in this blog hop, and I hope you get a chance to join us. And then there's also a giveaway. The giveaway details are over on my blog. If you want to start at the beginning, I'll leave Altenew's blog down below too. Have a fantastic, fabulous day, guys. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.